How are things? I want to say thank you very much to Doomsday Picnic and Mr. Destructoid, who threw a couple of tips there, lad. Thank you very much. While the stream was off air. It's just gone 6:09, I believe. It's almost 6:10. Time to get yourself down to your local bean regarder and ask about the finest Arabica roast. You from Guatemala, Kenya, Uganda, wherever you want. Make sure they know that you're intrigued about the world of beans, not just the first thing they throw into a cup. We got a Lewis. I wonder if we have a Lewis. Hopefully we won't have to wait for a Lewis here. Two minutes.
Thank you.
There's actually just one arriving right now, so hopefully the signal lasts when we're inside the carriage, because, as you know, I'm not sure data it does seem to struggle sometimes when you're inside an enclosed environment, but I hope maybe that the carriages themselves and probably the widespread data points all over Dublin won't hamper any connection issues. All aboard the Bean Express. It's peaceful.
Next stop.
Good morning, Frankie Scones. Texas Pete. Little John, I hope you're getting on well, buddy. I drink your bean shake. I drink it up. Hopefully, it's not buffering for people there. I noticed somebody's after saying it's buffering. I hope it's not. Bean, it is nicht. It's actually a nice enough morning. It's mild and not wet. And I heard the news that quite a lot of the country is beneath a dense, thick layer of fog. we're promised a bit of bad weather over the next few days anyway, so I can't see us really getting out and about beyond the next few days.
Next stop, Charlotte. From Parnell.
Fantastic bit rate, that's good stuff. Mouldy Mold, thanks very much for letting us know about that. And good morning to everyone out there. Hope you're having a fantastic morning and that the day is going to bring you nothing but sheer luck. And let's just say, untold, fruitful bounties. Maybe not luck as well, as we all know the words of Billy Zane in Titanic. A man makes his own luck. And that's exactly what we're doing here today. Look at that. Beautiful gangway. Is it a gangway? I think it is. Charlie Mount. A fantastic little spot. I wonder will we get off here or stay on till the green and walk. Yeah, I might stay on till the green and then walk up. Top of the market to you. And there's our buddy Zen desk out in the distance. The tight lips of Johnny Zendesk, who was at the front desk of Zendesk, I should say.
Next stop.
Not really giving too much information away regarding the inner operations of Zendesk and Zendesk Incorporated. But it's definitely a fantastic vibe in that ground floor foyer, that opening lobby, which has himself at the desk, and then a really beautiful coffee shop situation, very inviting. Definitely worth a look if you're in the area. If you've got the time, give it a go. There's some fantastic graffiti there in Peter Place. Not my cup of tea, not my bag. Nice redeveloped back house buildings onto the rear of this Georgian building here, which I believe is up on Daft as well. Those two end apartments, one studio, one 2-bed. A lot of people going for it. I say there's going to be a few people who probably are going to be working at 4 and 5 Park Place. We know that building well. We've seen the spigots. We've seen their pipes, and that's going to be a big hub. Once that gets rolling, it's going to be a massive hub. Glim crew, how are you? Are you up early or still up after a late one with Johnny Ronan and the Yateser? Well, as you know yourself, Glim crew, being a man, a cultured man who's seen it all, the club scene, probably don't want to be giving away any locations or anything like that, but you are au fait with the Berlin scene, I know that for sure.
Harcourt.
What Yateser has done since he took reins of the Dunge is unparalleled, and I was only speaking to Miles Duncan there a few days ago, asking him what his plans for 2025 were, and he said that it's just, if you want to know, you shouldn't have to ask, and if you want to have to ask, then you shouldn't need to know. So I'm not going to divulge any more information about that. All I will say is I hope you're getting on well and that life is going well for you. But to answer your question, it's an early start. It's a very early start. And no coffee as of yet. I haven't had any coffee since Monday, which was a bit of a washout, I have to say. The rain hampered expectations. Missed out on a few.
Next stop, St. Stephen's Green.
We missed out on a few.
A light for Grafton Street Shopping District.
Just wait for her to...
Kielstabelle, Farishtievna. Torling, the Chanter Shoppadorich, the Freud Grafton.
Vika Stevena. That's right, you're Grafton. But yeah, Pret looks well actually. But getting back to what you were asking, yeah, no, it's an early start. Didn't have the beat since Monday. Looking to go headstrong, headfirst into it now today and just see what the morning brings before state of play commences around 9:30. That's when the real business kicks off. That's when I have to log off. But I was hoping to get on to the stream earlier the last day. Technical gremlins. But right now it should be okay. We should be rocking. I think this is a 4K. We're actually streaming in 4K right now. And so if you've got a massive TV, you should definitely put this full screen. And really just bask in the resolution. It's like a dream. We're wishing you a data-driven morning. Imagine trying to get into work and hearing this cocky MF. I don't know what you mean by that. I'm certainly not cocky. And as for MF, what does that mean? Mr. Fontaine. That's the wrong person. You got the wrong person, bud. I suggest you start dotting your I's and crossing your T's. Your aspect ratio is off.
A light here for Grafton Street Shopping District.
Readjust your eyes. You might need to readjust your eyeball. You might actually be only watching it with one eye. Welcome to the stream, Con Celebrare. I hope you're getting on well. And that Wednesday is going well for you so far. A few people out there watching already. It's great to see the early risers getting up and going after it. A lot of people were saying to me the last day, what's the story? I noticed actually it was Blue Monday when I was streaming the other day, going on a bean quest on Monday morning. But I actually didn't realize that it was Blue Monday at all. I don't take into account any of that stuff, and it's subjective as well, you know. Now maybe I might swing into Nero here to start, or I don't think it. Maybe it doesn't open till 7. The other thing is, if we head back to the usual haunts, they might not be open either. It could be a 6:30 Cafe Sol situation. Let me just see what Nero are cooking up here. Uncle Nero. Yeah, it's a 7 a.m. situation. What about The Ferryman, John? By Jez Butterworth. On the 27th of Jan to the 15th of March. Certainly an intriguing proposition based on the theatrical poster here. Aaron McCusker, Alex Murphy, Andrew McClay, Anna Healy. Yeah, I don't really know. There are no names jumping out at me there, but I'm sure they are big names at the Gaiety. We have inside the Gaiety. The kiosk stand over there, very well stocked. Maltesers, Skittles, Milky Bar, Bites, and a well stocked soda fridge as well. Fancy an ice cream, HB. Are those seagulls real? They're not. They're hired for the stream. That's the level of detail I wanted to really add to the beanage today, was to go straight into central casting and say, give me 100 head of your finest seagull fare. And they said they'll be on spec, on site, ready to fly at 6:30. It's now 6:24, so just goes to show how diligent they are. They're here ready to rock. And I didn't even have to collect them in a box either. They actually flew from the depot to me. I said, how will they know exactly where to loiter? And they said, here you go. They slipped me a GPS tracker, which I have in my pocket there. And what that does is resonate with the frequency on a little leg tag that they have. Just vibrates, tells them exactly where to go. You know, it's kind of like Morse code. They're being conditioned into it. They're fed chips every time they make a right move. And they're not fed a chip when they do something bad, which is the wrong move. Thanks for asking. It's great that there are people asking, wanting to know about this, the level of depth and thought and, preparation that does go into these. I know that some people might say, what are you on about? It's very ramshackle. All you do is arse around talking shite, drinking coffee, swanning around, looking at swans, and aside from that, multiple complaints about the bit rate and the aspect ratio, but you don't understand. There's a lot that goes into these things, okay? We're working day and night to get this stuff done. Day and night. Thank you very much, Wanty, for the tip. Good morning, Connor. How are you today? What is on the agenda? Ping me back at your earliest. Getting back to you now, bud. We're gonna drink some coffee and just look at a few buildings, I think. I mean, but also discuss the issues of the day going forward, because I'd like this to be not a podcast or a primer for the day going forward. This is about the real deal, the business. Getting you set up with the correct information that you need before you hit the desk and start grinding out. And who better than to take you on that excursion than myself? I know I'm competing with a lot of media players out there. Thank you very much, anyway, Wanty and Speed. Hope you're getting on well. And Columnmeister Lewis and Clark's Adventures. Surprised myself with an early morning pun. Happy bean hunting, my guy. Thank you very much there, Columnmeister. And Yurty Ahern. Thank you very, very much. It's very, very kind of you. Too kind. Two can play at that game. Thank you very much. Beans are on me. Columnmeister, thank you very much. And Lydia Gillis, how do you even like your coffee anyways? I don't know if you've noticed me, but it's just been... Thank you very much, Lydia. And Morning Pigeon Posse, thank you very much. Don't know if you've noticed, but I am quite... Drive. You've driven all you can drive. Quite partial to just espresso or your basic Americano, and I just go singular shot on that. And most places as well that I do be frequenting, there's such exponents of caffeine that you can get one shot at, and that's enough. You go into one of these places. Lewis Hamiltonio, thank you very much, buddy. I hope you're getting on well. I don't know if you've noticed, but you can get one shot at some of these upmarket places, and that will do you. The buzz will carry you. It's a real smooth, clean buzz that carries you on for a couple of hours till the next hit. Whereas you could go high street chain and avail of something there, and you'd have to get two shots in order to replicate the one-shotter that you had at, Art of Coffee, Coffee Angel. Any of the places I've frequented before, which are just fantastic to be in. And I've actually forgot my beautiful voucher, which was dispatched to me there at the end, or near the end of the last day's stream, by a guy simply known as John, who came and just said he was wearing a Cole Chong cap. Here's the voucher, Connor. Go get it. And I bloody forgot the fucking thing, but I mean, that was Coffee Angel. And we were already there the other day. I would like to mix it up and keep it different. Certainly piqued my interest the other day. I must say, the place on Baggot Street with the multiple varieties of beans and the celebration of the world of coffee, you know, the Javas and the Guatemalans, the Ethiopians, the Kenyans, the Colombians. It was all there and it looked fantastic. Matthew Morgan, thank you very much. Tiki Stockhammer, thank you very much. Just invested heavy in Willie Harold coin this morning, making moves. And Lockie, thank you very, very much, buddy. You're a fiend for the caffeine, Mr. Williams. Good luck on the morning bean hunt, good sir. I wonder, can you walk through the green at this hour, or does it open its gates to the people, to the masses? At this time, I don't think it does. I might need to just blow the schnozzle. The unfortunate consequence of the dip in temperature compared to the last day is that it does create more of a schnozzle concern, especially when I've got a fisheye lens and my face is getting squeezed up against the camera. It could be a concerning situation should the schnozzle begin to do its duty, let's just say that, without wanting to really get too in-depth about it. You schnozzled all you can schnoz. Now it's time to wipe your nose and make the best of a bad situation with Zurich. The unfortunate situation also that I do be faced with is that with a tash or facial hair, you're never too sure that a vigorous rub with some tissue paper has done the job, or indeed, if it has, residual flecks of tissue could be lodged in the tash, which, you know, it's not a big deal. I mean, I'm not really one for superficial aesthetics or anything like that. I'm not exactly... You couldn't call me vain. In the slightest. But what I do like to have is a face free from detritus. And I feel as though I owe it to you as well. You've tuned in at this godly, unearthly hour. And God-forsaken, should I say. Definitely not godly. The least I could do is present you unaffected by detritus. Sean Kivlin, thank you very much, buddy. Cheers, Conzo. Stay warm out there. And Tenderloin District, thank you very much too. What are your business forecasts for 2025? Should I be investing in Zuckerbuck and his Silicone Dreamers? Yes, definitely. You saw yourself the overlords primed and ready and waiting inside the Rotunda, the Capitol Hill building in Washingtonia, the other day for the Daytona 5000, otherwise known as the presidential inauguration. I believe that those guys are probably your best bet going forward for any loose change you have lying around that you might want to throw behind something. It's looking like it's a good, strong possibility that Zucker is going to be doing very well. He's going to be lighting a few candles over the next coming financial semester. And if anybody is thinking about getting involved in anything regarding that, this little fella, lovely little fella, then you should definitely look at that. Of course, Meta, we saw their office the other day. Lovely dog there, just Not on a lead or anything. Nice times. You saw the other day the show of strength. I actually thought it was a bit too on the nose from the Trump administration, because you don't really want to be showing off to the world that these guys are in bed with you as well, because as far as, I mean, they're going on about global surveillance and all that kind of stuff, and how other countries do it and how we don't do it, or we're not as bad as other places. I say we as if I'm speaking from America, but you have to understand that whether you like it or not, we're taking orders, and we're the underlings of those no. Inside the inner sanctum, the inner circle, but I wouldn't have had them in the inner circle of the fucking building when you're getting inaugurated. It just seems to me that if there was ever a sight or an image which said maybe we are being completely and utterly surveilled and that these tech overlords are just now another extension of government, then that's the image, and it might actually could be wrong, could be a good move, could be a great move, you know? And those guys were clambering arse over tit to get in there, stuffing Trump's coffers full of money. But interesting stuff from Musk as well. I mean, I don't think it was a Sieg Heil. I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't think it was a Sieg Heil. Look, I think he's a good guy. And I don't think he's a full Nazi. I really don't. Look, he's neurodivergent. Probably hangs around on the internet and listens to all the lads that he's allowed to do Nazi stuff on his website. And he probably some of it maybe sank in, but it looked, if it's the benefit of the doubt, it could have been he was grabbing love from his heart. I'm not going to do the movement. Don't want to do that. It looks like he was grabbing love from his heart and throwing it at pays towards people, because that's just how he is, that's how he does. I don't know, what's your take on it? I'd love to hear your take on it. You just sit down here and hear what your take on it is. All about the Aspergers. I mean, there has to be at some point, right? We can't really just keep going about someone's autistic so you can excuse them for stuff. Because no matter what way you want to skin that apple, they're still capable of doing something that is not good, right? It doesn't absolve you from any wrongdoing. It was a love cast, says Tenderloin District. A love cast. It was quite a vigorous and aggressive casting of love. And rather unfortunately, it was the exact same motion that Hitler used and his followers used as well. So I don't know how to really approach this one. I'm going to roll back on my positivity. I'm 95% sure that it was a love cast, but there's 5% of me there that says it could be a Sieg cast. Thank you very much there, Lamsey. Given your incredible business acumen, would you consider a Sean Gallagher style presidential run in the next election? Maybe avoid the Sieg Heil during the campaign. Well, look, the Sieg Heil was never really on my to-do list of gestures or emotions. And I don't want to fucking rouse anyone's emotions with my gestures. So, I mean, thanks for the tip, but that's not going to happen. And Frightened Jogger, thank you very much for the tip there. And Joel Palm. It's getting late in California. I'm hunting fowl at sunrise. Going to need some righteous bean. Good job you reminded me there. I wonder is Sol open down there? Sol back here. Go to Sol back here. And then we can come down for a little goose in a bit. Big shout out to Joel in California though. Righteous bean in the morning after staying up late for the stream. Enjoy it. Don't drink before bed. You'll just end up with not being able to sleep, heart palpitations and anxiety. And Sean Kivlin, thank you very much for your tip as well. You've driven all you can drive. You've slept all you can sleep. Now it's time to wake up and enjoy the treats of the aromatic bean we know is coffee. And let's just really seize the day. Carpe diem, as they say. But just one more on the musket. Is that? Even though this is a red, let's do it. The muskrat was that he did it back to back as well. It wasn't just a quick blast of the Sieg Heil and then let's move on. It was a 180 degree no-scope Sieg Heil that he probably might have perfected when he was playing video games or something. Although there were rumours out there that there are people playing games on his behalf. I don't understand. It goes deep. It goes very deep, but I mean, an interesting collection of sorts. I mean, to be honest with you, I would have thought that maybe, just maybe, he cuts such an uncharismatic and bewildering figure that Trump would have just thought him or deemed him too uncool for school. But it just goes to show you that if it's all mun or no funner, and no matter how much you do Sieg Heils or maybe autism Heils or whatever they are, it doesn't matter. As long as you've got the bankola, then you're going to be in the manifold and you can manifest and do and emote whichever way you want. Let's not forget, people say that he could possibly be one of the world's greatest emoters as well. A lot of people have said that. Not many people believe it. This is where the air coach drops off, is it? I did not know that. It's a Dublin Express. Andy the Fork, thank you very much, bud. You've sieged all you can heil. Now it's time to join up with the Trump administration for 2025. That is not air coach, it's Dublin Express. Which I've never really never used before. But I'm quite excited about the onset of the initial bean blast. Can't really smell it yet. There we have the Gardaí building, the detective unit. I think it was here where we lost coverage the last day. Cranes in motion. Absolutely stunning stuff, and maybe about 50 or 60 seagulls up above. All of them hired, by the way, to follow me around the town today at the cost of €7 per sieg. So as we sieg from Elon Musk's potential sieg into the seagulls. I must say that I'm quite happy with the weather so far. It's held its own, and the nippiness is that you're gonna have that. You're gonna have that. That's fine. All we want to do is explore the beat. That's all we want to do today. Sea gone mushk. Maybe we can go. How's it going? Could I have an Americano, please? I got a cinnamon swirl, please. Thank you very much. I had an Americano. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. All the best. You cinnamon doll, you can swirl. Lovely stuff. Fantastic dreams. Might just find somewhere to set down with a bit of light. Somewhere that's convivial, ensconced, contained, out of the way of the hubbub and hullabaloo, and maybe inside our old friend, the courtyard down here. Just to get the first sip out the way. It's the most important, so I just want it to be an all-around good situation. All the best. For housing, vote Sinn Féin, but I mean, I don't know when the vote is. I wasn't aware there's a referendum on housing or what's up here. Let's go up here let's see what's going on. We could have something up here. All I know is it's remarkably well lit. To get down there, just on that bit. a box of wigs, a box of women's hair, and a witch's hat, and some lady's blonde hair inside one of those empty offices. You wonder where all the money went to build this and why it isn't operating to its full potential. And there's a few benches over here. Nice lighting down there with the green. It's becoming something of a home, this kind of place. The initial beam blast usually bodes well around here. We just remove the bag for a second. Prop it up so you can see us. I can see yourselves too. I can't see you, but I'm sure the tech overlords will have that sewn up in the not too distant future. The ability to live stream as well as watch the live stream. A two-way live stream. 100-way. 150-way, however many's on the UV. I can't even see. The good thing about these seagulls is that they're controlled by an app, and I can just tell them to down tools for a bit. It gives them a few little buzzes on the leg, and that just tells them, rest for a moment. And then once I'm going again, I can buzz them again. And that's them just letting me know they got the message there. Yeah. Yeah, lovely stuff. So it's very dark. What I can see. I don't know if you can see. That'll do. I mean, it's not great. Don't want to start carrying around a rig with lights on it or anything like that, you know? It is what it is. The day is only just beginning. It's still nocturnal. I managed to get myself a cinnamon swirl to boot. So it's definitely something to be considered. I would definitely urge you to go down the route of cinnamon swirl stroke pan au chocolat. Although I haven't had the pleasure of tasting Cafe Sol's sweet treats, it's definitely upon me at the moment anyway. But yeah, I mean, for all his foibles, whether or not it was a stimming scenario or a massive burst, a spurgasm, or whatever you want to call it, he could have been consuming some of the content aligned with that sort of gesture, and it's just filtered through into his day-to-day. And that's a great cinnamon swirl, it has to be said. Hits all the right notes, it's fresh, it's moist. Freshly baked. Very tasty stuff. I'm not sure you can really get that. There's not much light on it. I'm going to bring it over to the light. So you can get a good look. That's what we're dealing with, guys. Pure primetime sin swirl. It's like one of the 7 deadly sins, gluttony. And I don't know what else you could attribute. What of a sinful activity you could attribute to it. Definitely gluttony. And maybe a bit of sloth after it's gone down the hatch. Truly is a remarkable day for the swirl. God bless everybody out there who is about to earn a crust. I've been doing a lot of thinking. I think we really need to bring in HR because people have been sending messages saying the staff are beginning to get out of hand in a lot of the places with their demands. I think they're getting it a little bit too easy, you know. So I think we need to boost morale. The only way we can do that is by getting really tough, cracking the whip, crushing a few egos as well. The problem is they're being influenced by all these wellness gurus online. A lot of podcasters and people trying to tell them that it's not worth their time coming into work and grinding away, but that's not real life, baby. If you want to make it to the top, you have to start at the top. No two ways about it. And if you start at the bottom, then that's where you are, but you need to start climbing. Because there's only enough rungs on the ladder. Remember, the ladder is infinite. There's literally no limit to how big you can get or how far you can go. So the moment you stop climbing, the game is over, the jig is up. That's what I was saying to Zone. That's what I said to Eddie Hobbs. That's what I intimated towards Clim Crew there earlier on. You've driven all you can drive. Now it's time to climb the infinite ladder into the sky. In spite of all pain, break through the pain barrier, mental, physical, and emotional, in order to meet targets, achieve your dreams, and secure your future. Horses under starlight, thank you very much. But I'd love to hear what your take is on it. You know, I mean, do you think I'm actually insane? Or do you think, yeah, you're definitely on the right track? Horses under starlight, thank you very much. It's a beautiful time to be alive. And with companies like Dropbox, Meta, Amazonia, the whole shebang, it's just going to be a brighter outlook for the foreseeable. That's all I can say. Fibonacci pepperonici. Have you considered a career in HR? I have, yeah, and I'm actually thinking of going down that route as a side quest. In addition to many of my other ventures. But the office lights have gone on inside EY, who I don't know who they are. I'm just going to have a quick Google of that. Niall Scholar, jeez, we're at it again. This is it, Niall. No rest for the wicked, man. And the fact that you're up now and going getting it means you're wicked and there's no rest for you. But I'm going to Google EY here and see what the hell they are about, because even they probably could deal with some HR activity coming in. EY. They're an accounting firm, okay, Harcourt. Are they one of the big five? EY provides consulting, assurance, tax and transaction services that help solve our clients' toughest... ... You have to open the site to get the rest of the splurge. Accept all cookies. EY provides consulting, assurance, tax and transaction services that help solve our clients' toughest challenges and build a better working world for all. The question is, guys, people ask me a lot of the time, what's the state of play at the moment? And a lot of the times, I try to answer full and frank and be sincere, but also you need to sometimes step back and take what's known as a macro view of the situation. And I think really one question is at the forefront of everyone's questions that they're asking, and that's, will you shape the future, or will you be shaped by the future? And I gotta say, I don't want to be the one getting shaped by the future. I mean, our environment definitely shapes how we feel and how we view the world and what we do and what we get up to, and it influences our decision making, definitely. But are you going to let that underpin every facet of your life? I don't think so. I don't think I'd like that. I want to be in the driving seat. I'd like to be behind the wheel in the driving seat. I'd like to have one foot on the gas, another hovering just over the clutch, and yeah, I want to be able to control the radio. I want to be able to put on news talk. If somebody says, can we actually put on RT Radio 1 or 2? I say, no, I'm sticking with news talk for the time being, thanks. At least until Pat Kenny's finished, then maybe we'll switch over. RT1 for the news at 1. Switch off for Joe. No offense to Joe. And yeah, I won't go back for Ray Darcy. No offense to Ray, loved him on the Den, but I'm not really. I don't think I'm the target demographic for his show. I don't really know who is. That's the other thing. But it must. They're out there because it keeps on going. But Drive Time, keeping the dream alive. Drive Time on RT is a great show, and the Hard Shoulder is still going. I mean, it's a shadow of its former George Hookian days, but it's still got teeth. It's still got teeth. Thank you very much, climbing the AI ladder. Very, very kind of you. And DPRA. I work for EY in Australia, Connor. We're all in providing value for stakeholders. Great stuff. Have you had a chance to catch up on the latest BREEAM requirements once you have, so we can go over the lead rating system from the States? John has put together a quick PowerPoint presentation. Well, it sounds fantastic, and it sounds like it's going to shake the board to its core. I've been looking forward to the meeting all week. I don't know when it's going to happen. It's just only a few days away at best. He's just putting the final whistles and bells on the PowerPoint. We'll circle back for another groupthink meetup before we go in to the meeting itself, just to finesse and iron out any creases. But I think the combination of my panache, charisma and front-facing ability to face the front, your unbelievable PowerPoint skills and knowledge of structural hurdles and barriers which we need to overcome, some of them easy enough, some of them not so easy, that of, sustainability targets, greening up the building and such. That's your proviso. I'm not going to get in the way of that, but I definitely aren't going to let it hamper. As again, getting back to the whole, I'm not going to let the future shape my present. So I'm thinking about going out to Alaska in a few months' time to really try and shake things up around Anchorage, because it's Anchor by name but not by nature. The business side of things out there is virtually non-existent. It's almost as if the whole climate dominates the culture there, and people are more into just, subsistence living. But there's a whole lot of oil underneath the Alaskan wilderness and plainscapes as well. Gotta hand it to the United States. They made a great move when they bought Alaska from the Russians. And kind of amazing, so when you think about it, that Russia actually stretched out as far as North America and was a part of it. I mean, I could be wrong on that one, but I do know they bought it off them. I don't actually think it even is connected to the main block of the US. I think to get into the US by land, you'd have to go through Canada, which is a crazy bit of business. The best way to predict the future is to create it, Friday Pytech says. Go to Nuuk, Greenland for some upcoming business opportunities. I was there already, Nanook of the North, and I held a impromptu 3-day PowerPoint flabberganza with about 17 Inuits from the Nuuk, and none of them could understand a word of what I was saying, but thankfully I had Google Translate out, and it didn't really work either, but they could see that I was trying. I was basically trying to sell them the ideal that, what their life is at the moment is out of step with the way in which the world is moving and shaking. And I really think that, with just a little bit of guidance and a little bit of know-how and some expertise, that those guys could swap their igloos and their fishing rods and their parkers for, some nice gaffs with underfloor heating and a few MacBook Air, Zoom, Salesforce. I think they'd be flying it. I really do. Vaulted ceilings will be another one. I mean, back in the offices where we're based, we've got as Niall said, we've got the big meeting with the bigwigs coming up in a few days. We have underfloor heating in the office building as well, and we tell everybody who comes in, take your shoes off, and they're bemused. Apart from any Scandinavian visitors, any dignitaries that come in from there, it's completely normal to them. But we just do it just to add an element of quite literal warmth to the proceedings as well. But in addition to that, we do have in the meeting room an extended ceiling which goes up quite high, and then suspended from that we have railings, monkey bars, and rings, the ones that the Olympic rings. So I don't think these guys that we're giving a meeting to on Friday, it's tomorrow, Friday, know about that, but I'm going to get up on the rings just before they enter. I'm actually going to have to ask Niall to give me the go-ahead, because I don't want to be waiting on the fucking rings for them to come in, then there's a delay or something, they're taking their shoes off, and then I have to drop down because I haven't got the stamina. So, yeah, Niall, get back onto me about that. Rapid stat if you can, but I'll just wait for you. Actually, I'll tell you what I'll do. No, I'll just have the phone in the pocket on vibrate, and you can just buzz me, prank me before you're gonna come in with the big wigs, and then I can just hop up onto the rings and get a little bit of a swing going, so that when they come through the door, how's it going, guys? Take a seat. It's great to have you. Do you like the underfloor heating? Are your feet warm? Good stuff. And then I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna do a somersault, but I'm definitely gonna go and just go off a few meters into the distance, so it looks like I know, that I know what I'm doing. And maybe get a couple of mats, maybe get a gym mat or something. I mean, to be honest, we should have gym mats already in there, because the fact that we've got the apparatus on the ceiling. I haven't thought it through, Niall, but I will be thinking it through tonight. And the good thing about the bean is it's beginning to really take shape at the moment. And all the best to everybody out there. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. In corporate world. Safita, thank you very much. Shaping your immediate future. That's what it's all about. Living in the moment, defining your present, and shaping and moulding and sculpting the world around you as you see fit for you and others as well. Primarily yourself. Remember, charity starts at home. Nobody wins any prizes for thinking about others. Okay? As Emilio Estevez's father said, greed is good, in the 1980s film Wall Street. I'm not sure if that is Emilio Estevez's father. Emilio Estevez's brother was Kurt Douglas's son, Russell Kurtz. Colonel Kurtz. Was Kurt Russell? No, sorry. You had Spartacus. Kirk Douglas had a son, Michael Douglas. Catherine Zeta-Jones, no relation, but married at some stage. Half-brother of Douglas, Charlie Sheen, who had another brother, Emilio Estevez. That's how I remember it anyway. I could be wrong. Martin Sheen, Charlie Sheen. So hang on, Kirk Douglas and Martin Sheen have nothing to do with each other, is that it? Or have I got that right? Well, what about Kurt Russell? This is getting very sophisticated at the moment. I don't really understand where we're going with it. I can't even remember what the initial prompt was, but oh yeah, greed is good. So shape your immediate future before it shapes you. They all look pretty similar, says Mr. Man, which absolves me of any error, because how are you meant to keep up and keep track of all these people when they're quite similar in stature and in face as well? Quite amazing when you think about Kirk Douglas, Michael Douglas, and then the Sheens and Estevez situation. They're all from the same house, they're from the same cart. Of that I am certain. Now, tea or coffee?
You've driven all you can drive.
Spartacalypse now. Thank you very much. You've driven all you can drive. Elon likely thinks they all look similar too, says Spartacalypse now. Who knows what the crack is with the musket. All we do know is that was a questionable gesture. Very questionable, and no doubt many questions have been raised, but not so many have been answered. Office opening hours at EY here, 6:30 to 23:45. You must leave before 23:45. The door will lock. And then we've Fidelis as well. Fidelity. Fidelis. And a kind of Jeff Koons sort of dog installation. A balloon dog. I don't know if you could. Should I say, which could bring us some pedestrian delight without having to retread old ground down there. The denizens of Coffee Angel, where we got our peace the last day. I actually don't mind just hanging out here. This is a nice little spot just to hang. If you ever just want to have a hang around this town, this part of town here, and you've got the Lewis going by, soon enough the new Garda HQ will be up and running, and it will look pretty nice, even though I was speculating there that it doesn't look great. I know it's still being built, it's still in a transitory phase, but from what I can see, it looks kind of like sinister, like MI6 or something like that. Good morning, Cons. Thank you very much, Anonymous, for the tip there. Have a cup of bean juice on me. Much love. Thank you very much. You've driven all you can drive. Now it's time to take a little break just on the side of the street. Something's in the air tonight. I can feel it, even though it's the morning. It still feels like the night, though. And indeed, many people would say to you, yes, it is the night. What are you doing up at this time? But you only have to hit the streets to see there's plenty of action. There's plenty of people. Plenty of stuff going on. And already, the wheels are beginning to turn and churn. And money is being made hand over fist, over hand over fist. Until you step back and see a million hands and fists all punching and just touching each other, trying to grab and clasp at the figures that be. They're out there, the infinite amount of finance and cash. It's almost daunting to think about it. The fact that every moment is a chance to double your money. And if you're not doing it, then what are you doing? And even if you put that thought to the back of your mind, it's still there in the subconscious, working away, tapping away behind the scenes. And frightening. You're either frightened by it, or you take the bull by the horns and you ride that bastard out of town into the sunset. No saddle. Just pure grit, determination. As the Dublin Express departs its regimental stop at the side of the Ivy Gardens, just waiting for a moment to join the traffic. There you go. One for the bus heads out there. The Schlug enthusiasts. I need to find a bin for this guy. Binbo Baggins. And now we're trapped. I'm not too sure whether or not we should push that in case it starts an alarm. It just goes to show that not everyone has the right of way in this town. No matter how well connected you are. platinum Pilates going on there. Thank you very much, DJ George, for the tip there. Very kind of you. We might be able to just get a little bit of this green light on the face here. And I think movement is necessary because the brief sojourn to the top, which culminated in us just sitting down for a while, has left me feeling a little bit chilly. And underneath, fantastic car in the underground car park of Dropbox. And Dropbox incorporated this lovely green light to boot. If we get down low, I could get a screenshot, but only after the schnozzle has been well and truly wiped clean, just in case. I wonder. Yeah, that'll do. Don't really want to do any more on this. It actually is. It hurts the arse to sit on that grate, and it's freezing as well. I wasn't 100% sure I'd managed to wipe the nose clean. Main approver of stuff. Thank you very much. I don't know how that looked. It might have come across a bit sinister as well, because I had to just point the camera up at my face, so I don't think that would have looked great. I don't think it would have been a flattering portrayal of my face. But again, I'm at pains to stress, I'm not a vain person. Vanity is not one of the deadly sins that I put much stock into myself. Then we have Bell Lane. Morton's proudly serving Bell Lane. So this is Bell Lane. The Fresh Prince of Bell Lane. 1934. 8 a.m. till 4. So it's still closed. And you can collect loyalty stamps here with Squid. If you've got the app, get on that. Squid it up. And we've group fitness at number 17 too, which is right here. The door is open to let a bit of heat at the room. Great place to go get it before you start crunching the numbers and busting skulls. And what would a trip down Bell Lane be without another quick goosey gander at the rather elaborate music room that Dropbox have for their own employees? As I said, no more than 9 guitars. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 guitars, I beg your pardon. Not even the Eagles would have had that many guitars, and that's all they bloody played. Couple of bongos, maracas, untouched for the most part. I mean, I could use that equipment. I could really do with some of that equipment, but it's just gone to waste. It's just for show. But it only serves to illustrate how much Dropbox put into their setup, and it really is fantastic. Bell Lane. Bell Lane. Do you hear me, Bell Lane? Enjoy your day. Yes, we might just start moving here. I think there's a security guard coming. Find a bin for my cup, the usual grief. Hot stepper, thank you very much. Do you ever think about getting into the sound effect business? Those were some very classic footsteps. the metaverse might be interested to acquire the rights. Guaranteed Irish steps. I actually don't know what footsteps you're on about, because I'm wearing runners as well that kind of muffle the sound of the step. So I can't really empathise with you on that. But yeah, if there's a market for it, why not go for it? Knock yourself out, have some fun, why not? I mean, that's what it's all about, isn't it? Finding a market, cornering it, and vanquishing the competition as well at the same time. No point in singing your song and having somebody else singing from the same hymn sheet. You need to copyright that hymn sheet. Make sure nobody worships or sings from it other than yourself. That's what leads businesses to the top, and individuals as well. I would strive to point that out at many of my motivational talks and speeches I do give in and around the commercial zone of the city. But one thing I wanted to really get on to you about was electric vehicles and the impact that they're having, both good and bad. A lot of friends who swear by the engine, and I have a lot of love for combustion myself. Burning fossil fuels is something very close to my heart. It's generated a lot of money for a lot of people as well. It's kept a lot of people happy for quite some time. But I just think electricity, it's clean, it's nice, it's serene, but it just isn't there yet. And that's why you can't go wrong with some solid diesel action. And I can still see it around the city right here, right now, that there are quite a few combustion heads doing the God's honest and making it work. But there's one or two situations. Am I being followed here? One sec. I'm not. There's one or two electric vehicles, and then some of the drivers just think they're the shit, you know? I don't like getting arty about things or people, especially not when delivering a keynote presentation like this. I usually like to keep any of my grievances behind closed doors or away, but some of the cut and thrust of some of these electric heads, they're on another planescape of insanity, and I can't deal with them. I can't deal with them at all. AC ductwork systems. Are we back? Okay, yeah, we're back. Seems to be something around the general vicinity of the eye and ear, which is a shame because it's one of my favourite parts of the city. As you know, frequented the alleyways around it before with no problem when it comes to the coverage, but then just there I was walking down and got towards the dungeon before I realised that the stream was not working, and just had to reset. I'm coming back just to test it out here again because I wanted to make that turn. I don't know whether or not it was something to do with on my end of the situation, or was it something to do with the coverage. But thank you very much for the tip there. It came through. Just get to you. John Wade, and how's your altitude? Thank you very much for the tips. Are any concerns of flooding in Monkstown, Con? Shame if gas guzzling hits your return on investment after the Reno. Look, I'm not going to go on about it, but I kept on going on about gas before and then the stream cut out, so we can't really rule out the fact that the petrol heads out there, or even indeed the electric owners, put some sort of kibosh on the stream itself. It's a nice little underground or underpass here. I don't know what company it is. Could be HSE or something. Or indeed none other than Cogent Associates, which is lovely to see. Cogent doing the God's honest. Interesting to see the back of these buildings again. You know, the front is dedicated to business, and they have the Georgesian features dotted in and around the place as well. And here we have, could be a smoking area for staff. Don't want to go in there, don't want to encroach on the place. You need to get a banana out the pocket. You can see how bright it's getting here compared to just a couple of weeks ago. At 20 to 8, it's pitch black, which is nice to see. will end probably this sort of winter sojourn situation of waking up at the crack of hours to get coffee, because it's very much a winter situation, or a winter have these little times where you can just embrace it. Get the banana going. That's good stuff. Just put that there. A beautiful chimney stack, which we've seen time and time again, but it's no harm witnessing it again for one more blast of the chim. Chim chimney, chim chimney, chim chim chiroo. I couldn't really smell any of the clean laundry there, so I'm just gonna go back for a secondary whiff. Oh yeah, now I'm getting it. It's coming out of there. I think I'm going to go for a laundry whiff of detergent and combine that with the explosive taste of potassium-enriched banana. Lovely stuff, really nice clean sheets and banana. Beautiful. Absolutely quintessential. That's the real experience of Hatch Lane. Or Hatch Place. That's the real Hatch Place back there. Thank you very much, lads, for the tips there. So it was John Wayne. Very, very kind of you. How's your altitude? The Churchesian windows. They're fantastic. Actually, I forgot I left the banana skin on the Churchesian window. I need to go and get that. that. The light shining through the rippled skin. Or the light hitting the back of the skin there to illuminate and bring out the yellow vibrancy of the banana peel. It's appealing. And again, be yourself. Corn maze. Absolutely beautiful stuff. And a mouse, or a bird, sorry, I thought it was a mouse. A mouse with wings. For whom the bell tolls. Lovely bit of light there as well. Vibrant 2 Hatch Place. Kennedy security. Then a harsh bit of lighting, but essential. I just need to wipe some of the banana just on my jeans there before I try and straighten out the hair. It's a fantastic day to be alive. Just the one there we need to move. Saul looks good. It's another Saul there. Don't want to go too heavy on the beanage just yet. Maybe give it another half an hour before I go in for the kill. We're coming up to Fitzwilliam Square, which has managed to retain its Georgian charm without many of the big corporations injecting their own new architectural flavour onto the area. So I think we'll get a look at that, and maybe the Greek embassy here as well. I'm not too sure about that. Or is that even a Greek flag? We'll know soon enough. What I haven't ever done is gone down Fitzwilliam Court, which seemingly is open to the public. And it's just an alleyway with a dead end. Or maybe you can get out onto Lad Lane, or I've got my lanes and alleyways mixed up with that one, but it's interesting to just go down these little nooks and crannies that you wouldn't otherwise be arsed going down. I actually have no way to know. What a pleasant little building that is there. Medical Council. Lovely stuff, lovely little area, isn't it? This is a lane just off of... What's that little box there? Just off Fitzwilliam Square.
You've driven all you can drive.
Thank you very much, Chris D. Very, very kind of you there for the tip. I don't know what that says there. Something written in the stone, John. But I don't know what it says. Oh yeah, Kingsgraham House. And then it's carved in stone. The Medical Council. It's a really nice house. You'd wonder who used to live there and what the story is now. Obviously it's the Medical Council now. They're open from 9 anyway if you want to go in for a look. Due to limited meeting space, this policy is to manage the flow of applicants, doctors and patients, okay? You don't actually understand or know what goes on inside there, to be honest with you. The Medical Council, whether it's the hub or the head for doctors, but it said something about patients on it, so there must be a clinic going on in there in some capacity. More lanes here. This is fantastic. Very well lit, protected underground. It's not really underground, but it's between building and ground. This is the headquarters of VitHit. Vits, juice, aqua, teas. Who'd have thought it? I mean, you have a little amble around, you don't know what you'll find. And I have a lot of good time for those guys, VitHit. They've done a lot of good work. I've succumbed to the little version of VitHit, which is considerably cheaper and actually tastes fantastic. But those guys are the real deal. They're the original numero unos. Big boys. Doing a lot of good in the world. And that's fantastic as well. That's fantastic. Whatever the hell that is. It's beautiful. It really is. That none other than tropical sky. Luxury holidays to tropical places, John. Unbelievable. Magic. Absolutely magical. Fantastic. You couldn't ask for better than a luxury trip away. A jolly hollier. A hollybob over in some far-flung exotic locale. On a whim, too. Leave on Friday afternoon. Get out of work early. Tell the boss I'm taking a half day. Then fuck off to Chamonix. Midwinter. Hit the slopes. Après-ski. Light cigars with burning €50 notes. Or hundreds, if you can be arsed with the rigmarole of getting a hold of them. That's the way it's done. And that is a beautiful Georgian building, the rear of which bursts out at the back. That would be the living quarters for the servitudal class. The mainstay would live inside the front and upper lodgings. And this thing here, if we can get the torch on it, can show you.
Driven all you can drive.
You've driven all you can drive. Anti-Trockner, thank you very much. Morning, Conzo. Great to see the R&D progressing at pace. The Bagugu boardroom backslaps beckon. Lovely alliteration there. And I put the torch on this. We've seen it before. These are kind of out of sync with the rest of the brickwork. He comes down here and you're like, what's the story here? And it's been filled in there. Used to be a coal bunker. And man and coal would fuse together to fill up the bottom of the building with coal, so the servitudal class could then keep their masters' feet warm by creating more powerful flames. Of course, there's no need for that anymore. What with the creature comforts that we now have, and gas, electricity, oil, all fusing together to create a wonderful warm atmosphere for our buildings and homes. But it was fossil fuels that started it all, and fossil fuels that still pack a punch. No matter what they say or what they try to tell you, they'll never take my coal away from me, especially in my rural retreat, which I like to frequent every now and again. Once in winter, maybe a couple of times in the summertime I'll be there as well. No need for the fire then, but you can bet your bottom dollar, in the deep, deep depths of winter, I like nothing more than throwing fat lumps of coal, chunks of wood, and even peat onto that roaring flame pit. Lovely glass of scotch. Or redbreast. It's a beautiful world. It really is. It's a beautiful world and we're part of it. You need to remember that. And you need to remember, don't let the future shape your present. Don't let the past shape your present or your future. And don't let your future shape your past. I'm not sure it even could. The past is in the past. I don't know what that Greek flag building back there was, or even if indeed it was a Greek flag. I didn't even mean to venture off the beaten track and come up here, but I see, is that a Palestinian embassy over there? I thought we walked past the Palestinian embassy the other day when heading up to Baggot Street. Blowhards will be dispatched. That's the message I like to put out there. And this is the Embassy Republic of Iraq. So similarities in the color scheme. And the Iraqis have a similar sort of crest. And they also have their very own steam pipe, belting out the best, finest Iraqi steam into the Dublin atmosphere. And that's a truly remarkable placard. You can see its little toenails gripping a sign which says something in Arabic, in Iraqi. I'm not sure. You would have to really know the lingo to see what it says, but it probably says Iraq. All the best. And you'd wonder also what the hell that is. I suppose it is text. It just looked like there was some buildings or construction like going on there. talons, I beg your pardon. The eagle has talons, not toenails. I actually need to wipe the nose. It's getting busy, guys. I should have packed some gloves, because my hand is getting frozen here. Boys at IFAC. It's farm accountants, I think. I'm not sure whether or not I've got that one right. I'm just going to go back down this laneway and continue along the way we were actually going first and see what that Grecian affected building is indeed. It could well be an embassy of Greece. It isn't Lad Lane, Flower Hus. That's a little bit further on, down that way. And we might actually come back up that way again. Or go down there again. I'm not sure. I haven't really planned it out as usual. But it's definitely something to be seen around here. I'm already being surprised by some of the other buildings we've seen so far. And there's Pember with their flexible office solutions. And more steam emanating from a pipe inside there. So it is the Embassy of Greece. And I have to say, it doesn't really look as clean or as impressive as the Iraqi embassy. So they've got a little bit of catching up to do with Iraq. Maybe they're not ours. It doesn't really look lived in or anything, you know? I mean, even the sign, you'd struggle to even read what the hell's going on. You can see the dust. Now, you can just about make it out there. But it's not great. Which is a tragedy. It really is. There's another lane just down here. Let's not leave no lane unturned. They need to get someone in to clean that bronze up. And it's a good smelling lane. It doesn't smell bad. There's people going to work, I think, down here. See what this would lead to, but if I was to guess, it will bring us back onto that street that we were before Christmas, which takes us out onto Baggot Street, which we could do, come back up, back onto Fitzwilliam. Now, I'll tell you, we've been down there, we'll go down here, we'll take a left on Fitzwilliam and have a look around there first. But immediately our attention is drawn to the derriere of this Georgian square, and these kind of lovely tubular bits, and then a jutting outward position right there. But it's the tubular bits that I'm impressed with there. Not so much impressed with the modern brick there. And look at that. Beautiful stuff. This is Quinn's Lane, just in case anybody is interested in that. I mean, we might come back up it again at another time. Fitzwilliam Square could really do with some sort of mobile coffee gooser, which has access to the interior. I know that you can't get a car in there, although was that a screening of a movie in there? They had like an outdoor movie one night there, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, I don't know, a long time ago. And can't recall whether or not that was brought in via vehicle or not. A big job, you'd have to imagine that something on wheels brought that in. Angel is nearby, the hairy cleavage. Thank you very much. I just don't have my Coffee Angel token at the moment. Private community garden, inquiries welcome. But I mean, it should be open, I think. Does it not have access to the public? I mean, I've been in there plenty of times. I thought it was open to the public. That's really is a lovely piece of solitude in the city there. It's one of our extras right there. Siegel McSieg. This is a lovely part of town, and again, just so many of these little areas around, dotted around this particular part of town, where it's just in and amongst the hullabaloo, the hoi polloi, coming and going, toing and froing. It's retained its charm and its dignity. But for how long, that's the thing. You know, time moves on, it doesn't wait for anyone. And with the times, as does people's expectations of what the city should be. Don't want to force my way in, or indeed shake the can off that. It'll fall down there and then I'll have created litter, even though that is litter already. Literal litter. But it's a lovely building there, BGF, I don't know what that is. But it's well lit, every floor. You can imagine if those walls could talk and the stories they would have to tell through the generations when there used to be people living in those places. Indeed, quite a few of these places probably do still have people living inside them. But I mean, it's more often than not a business or a company that's just taking control of it due to the exorbitant property valuation and rental rate. I think that's definitely a gaffer because it's closed blinds, very nice lighting inside, and I can see some kind of don't know what you call that on the wall inside, but stone masonry depicting people from the ages, maybe going back to Grecian times or even before then. Like a kind of stone-worked tapestry of people. And that looks amazing as well inside. A fine table with some books and stuff on it. Mercedes. Iraqi times. An impressive seagull makes its way up the square and then up above us, hovering, and back down again. Very smoothly done. Very beautifully done. And that's one of the lads that we hired for the stream, who came for a low-flying pass. Well done to him.
Por un lado quiere también dar que hablar. Me encanta.
And driving in the city, it's not always all it's cracked up to be. Especially when you see pedestrians outpacing you. And the stop-start nature of the traffic really does build up a little bit of pent-up aggression. And that culminates sometimes in road rage, furious pipping of the horn, gesticulations, ruminations, and outwardly explosive indignations. Not for me. I prefer the open road and allow my wild side to come out and express myself through the medium of driving, sheer driving pleasure, whereas the city is just the antithesis of sheer driving pleasure. It's sheer driving pain. We're at a very busy juncture right here. You can see all the way down that street there, it's chock-a-block, and then all the way back up Fitzwilliam, chock-a-block, allowing many cars to go to down southwards, down Baggot Street and beyond. John, thank you very much. You've driven all you can drive. Give my love to your father. Very, very kind of you. I hope you're getting on well. And that you're having a great Wednesday. Wednesday Addams, the devil. Wednesday Addams from the Addams family, the devil. And we can see a lovely little seagull here has come down to the ground to get a lovely bite, tasty treat. We're going to go in for a quick look. Hopefully he doesn't swoop away. But it's just nice to get the shot, the amalgamation of nature and machine. The car is going by, but the seagull is not letting all this affect him, you know. Even the biker there, look, he'll take a little step back, but he'll keep doing. I don't want to get too close to make him fly away. But he's a sweet little dude. And there, a second seagull has entered the equation. This is where I'd like to have the zoom, a zoom lenser, just to be able to get the seagull in on a nice tight close-up. And he's saying to his friend, back off, buddy, get away. This food on the ground is mine, and mine alone. And then he's gone. He had a challenger. Little coffee hatch here, look. Star Coffee. We might have to try this out. Just on the edge of the Star Bar, there is a coffee dock called Star Coffee, and it looks the business. Quick little advert for the people who are playing here, I think. Cronin Acoustic. Good guys. If you can get to see Cronin, get onto them. They're here at the 31st of January in the Star Bar with Matt McManaman and none other from the Dead 60s. And the specials as well. And then the Big Four, who look like a happy bunch of lads all together. They're going to be here on February 1st. Sligo Spiders, thank you very much for the tip there. You've driven all you can drive. You're close to the recently rebuilt ESB HQ. Interesting building to check out. They've managed to recreate the Georgian exterior. I have to have a look at that. Polythene Jam, Jan 24th, Feb 28th. I suppose Friday the 31st of January. Yeah, it's not too far away. These guys. Like a nice bar. We're gonna try out the Star Bar Coffee Dock, Star Coffee, and see what it's like. very much. Does it get busy? Not very quiet today. Maybe on a Friday, Thursday, Friday, be busy. Yeah.
Thursday, like normal.
Sorry, don't mind me, you can go ahead. Sorry, do you have one of those things that stops your hand getting burnt? Oh yeah, thank you very much. Thank you. And do you have a bin for that? Thank you very much. Great stuff. They didn't have a cup holder, but she gave me an extra cup to stop the hand from getting burnt, which is very, very appreciated. She went the extra mile to ensure the customer was satisfied. And for that I am thankful.
I don't know what. Sorry.
Great to have somewhere to prop the camera up so that, oh yeah, that's maybe that would do. That'll have to do. And that's Star Coffee, John. Absolutely fantastic fare. A lovely little hut on the corner. And it tastes great as well. A bit early for the second cup. But you gotta do what you gotta do. And apologies if the screen looks rather blue. I noticed there the last day, looking back at the footage, that the white balancing, which is automatic on this camera, I can't really do it on the fly. Kind of rendered everything blue. I noted somebody had commented that my turtleneck, which is actually white in colour, was duck egg blue. And I think they got it all wrong because of the job of the white balance, of the auto white balance. So it doesn't really create an appealing frame or a colour scheme for the actual stream as well, but there's not much you can really do about that until you find a way to make changes on the fly like that. You know, and that's why you would need a producer or something. That's just not, it's not how I would do business in this kind of stream. Unless I was to go full kit wanker on it and bring a proper camera out about, but it's too ostentatious, it's too big, it creates too much of a scene, you know. I don't want to be the front and centre of attention. Not all the time anyway, John. You need to have your downtime. That's what I always say. It's all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. But you get bitten by the playtime bug and you end up not doing any work. That's when it becomes a problem. You can just see on the inside of Star Bar here, Aslan, that's poster from a long time ago, I think. It's a beautiful bean. It's a great bean. I recommend it. Thank you very much for joining us. If you've tuned in, it's been a leisurely affair so far. But now that the daylight is upon us, we might be able to get an even better look at some of the architectural splendor of this particular part of town. Tasty. My hand is pure red with the cold. Just gonna do a few hand stretches and warm-ups. Stuck in traffic on the way to the office, Cons. We need more drive-through coffee shops. I'll drop you an email. And we can get around the table and brainstorm ideas. It sounds great. It sounds like something we need to do yesterday. I mean, it's crying out for a drive-through pickup. This street. You can park the car, maybe run in to the coffee dock down there, but I mean, it's no good to you if you can't find a space. It's drive-through or bust. You could do what I do and pack the car with a Sage Barista, which is a mass market bean to cup machine. But look, if you're in a squeeze and needs must, get that going. You need a good power bank in the car for it, and a tank of water too if you can. I come prepared most days, if not all days, you know. We need to send a DM to corporate and get them on board, because once they're on board, that's when that spigot turns on and the money flows. Liquid Spigot, in association with Lester Piggott. I'm wondering, when you say there, Schleigo Spiders, you're close to the recently refurbished or rebuilt ESB HQ. Which building that is, because you've got the AIB just there to the left, or the Bank of Ireland. but I don't know whether or not Bank of Ireland are there anymore. They might have vacated the premises, and maybe I've got that wrong. Somebody else has moved in, but we'll see. Let me know if I'm right or I'm wrong. I like to keep a 12-volt leisure battery in the boot of the Merc purely for attaching to my Sage B2C. Good man yourself. Another man of the bean. And that's great. That's going down a treat. It just tastes so smooth, you know? Big shout out to Star Coffee for putting the work in, laying the foundations. I'm coming out of here with a real great product. ESB up the other side of Merrion Square, 27 Fitzwilliam Lower. Okay, so maybe down there. Yeah. No bother, we'll have a look. Thoughts on the Molly Malone statue, class or crass? Look, I'm not a prude. I don't mind it at all. If it brings in tourists, you know, people might be paying money to get to the country just to go and do that tour. And you got to remember, it's not even a her. It's not a thing. It's a thing. It's a statue. It's a piece of metal. You know. So, but it is weird. And that's a well-packed bus. The 39A. I'll be heading out to the university. That's why it's so packed. But I mean, as good as the buses are, they still haven't come up with a way to defog the windows, which is not nice. It's never a nice experience, and you don't want to crack open a window in the depths of winter as well when it's so cold and chilly. But you'll notice at the bottom there is no condensation, probably because heat or steam rises to the top, and then up the top it's insane, John, you know. But one day they'll have their degrees and their masters and their PhDs, and then they'll be ready to join the workforce and drive to survive. Just encountered a slight problem there. If you don't have a cup sleeve to ensure your hands don't get burnt, then putting one of these on is the next best thing, except when it comes to finishing the last drop of coffee. Your mouth, which usually forms a seal around the rim of the cup, unfortunately is hampered. There's like a double seal situation going on, and then residual drops of coffee are going to start coming out the side. What the hell is that? Go little rock star. What? Hopefully that wasn't a tip cup. Was that a tip cup? Or was that something they wrote on the cup to make me feel good? I don't know. But I hope that wasn't a tip cup, because then coins have been in that, John. Coins have been in hands. I don't want to finish the end of that drop now. But that's a shame. It really is, because I was singing the praises about Star. And look, I'm not going to say anything more on the issue other than the coffee is great anyway, or at least it tasted good. It's just there's a retrospective feeling of concern now, which unfortunately has hit me in the gut. Gonna go down to ESB. It's like a punch in the gut. Donica Hennessy asked, was there a metallic taste? Not at the time. But now in retrospect, I've just I'm trying to taste around the gum and the interior of the mouth, and I think I can taste coins, John. I need to blow my nose. Oh, shit. On a stick. I hope I haven't caught any coins in these now. Not... Fuck it. Now we have the ESB building. Beg your pardon. Right here. Repurposed, fully reconstituted. And it looks nice. A lot nicer than what it was. You can see big open plan windows. And they have their own coffee dock in its own little bus inside as well. Security detail there watching. And I don't want to go pointing any camera inside, but yep, they've got their own little Samba bus. It's one of the VW Samba buses, and they're slinging coffee in that. I wonder, can you buy from inside there? Sorry, is it possible to buy a coffee inside there? No, it's closed. Okay, thank you. Yeah, it's not possible at all. He said it's closed, but it could well be for the staff. I urge anyone who's interested to come down and have a look and see if they can get in there at some point and report back. There you go. Little VW Samba. And it's got that roof, the retractable roof as well. Lovely stuff. Really nice. This particular part of town is getting very busy now, so... Thank you very much there, Copper Beans. And look at this courtyard, it's stunning. Well put together, well scaped, very well scaped. You've driven all you can drive. Thank you very much there for the tip. Go Little Rock Star. And Duncan Carey. Thank you very much. Duncan Carey. And that's lovely down there. We need to move along at pace. Recreation is beside you there towards Merrion Square on the right. You'll see a wee gold plaque on the wall, Fitzwilliam Street Lower. Georgian Recreation. Good job, thank you very much. Dublin Architect here, just touching on earlier, they've vacated the Iraqi embassy and opted for the future. Think NZ Skybase ping-ponging between Mizzen and Malin Head. Lucrative opening hours, Conzo. Did anybody enlighten me there as to what that fellow was on about to tip me, who said there's a Georgian recreation on the street? I'm not sure what he's on about. I don't know if I'm on the right side. Thoughts on Elon's final salute situation? Head the ball. Check the beginning of the stream. It could have been a Spurge moment, and it could, but then it definitely, maybe, probably was a Sieg moment. That's the hypothesis. He might have been throwing love bombs at people. Don't know if that man is shouting at me there. He is. How's it going, buddy?
Book cab?
Book cab?
Yes.
No. Connor Williams.
I'll call you some pub.
Connor Williams. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Airport?
No, I'm not going to the airport. No, I'm not going to the airport. No.
Okay, coming.
No, I'm not. This is not me. Thank you. Don't know what's going on there. You wouldn't really know. I think somebody was wanting to bring me to an embassy or something. I think we need to get out of Dodge here. It's too busy. Somebody was trying to get me into a taxi there. Unsolicited. So a bit of a warning there to anybody out there. We've had a couple of situations in the last 10 minutes where I could have drank out of a copper-lined cup, potentially. Let's just go down this dark alley to get away from people. And then try to get me into a cab, someone there with intentions. I don't know whether they were good intentions or not. And this is a very uninspired and bland alleyway which we've gone down. I just see a gentleman coming out of the alleyway, so I thought maybe this must be a thoroughfare or something, but it's not. It's just a car park, John, and then that's an interesting situation there, isn't it? Those stairs and metal lining. I don't know what that leads to or what that goes up to. And a lovely kind of conservatory back there at the back of that building. Onwards and upwards, anyway. Strive to survive. Thank you very much there, Mr. and Mrs. Pacework. And none other than John again. It says, deepest apologies, Conzo. The Georgian recreation should have said recreation. In reference to the recreation, ESB'd it to the exterior. Well, just as we've come over here to this alleyway, it's afforded us a beautiful widescape shot of the recreation itself. And there you have it. Got those big windows at the top, and then look at those pillars and windows with those sort of Georgian brickwork at the top as well. I'll move out the way of these people here. But it's an impressive facade nonetheless. And then the recreation goes on into the interior as well. I'd love to get a look inside at some stage, but at the moment we can't go in there. It's locked off to people like you and me. But thanks very much, Mr. and Mrs. Pacework, and John the architect as well, for the tip. It's a lovely building. And there, Mark Wahlberg in Flight Risk. Looks like an absolutely impressive and stunning movie, which I'm looking forward to seeing on January 24th. And hold on to your seats. It's going to get messy. It's just gone 8:46. Time to wake up and get fresh. Here's the guards. Why is the road closed today? We might snag a bike. I don't know why the road is closed. Why is the road closed? Okay. First day, the Dáil reopens, so first day back for the boys after the holidays. And the new government, I think, could be formed and exercising its God-given, forsaken right to govern. They have a mandate. A silver mandate has been bestowed. And, the people said the last day that the flag in the US Embassy was flying at half-mast because Jimmy Carter had died, so I just forgot that the mourning was still going on then, it was a long mourning. I thought that they would have ended the mourning for the beginning of Trump's reign of terror, but turns out they're still in mourning. And we're out in Marion Square here. We can see embassies of France, South Korea, and I don't know what the flag is down there. Looks vaguely Serbian or something. And a European flag as well. Okay. You sort out my red click situation here, John. Red click. Your subscription is not valid. Swipe to release Dublin bike. There we go. Go for number 28. $60 seconds. Lash that bad boy there. I was actually thinking of someone who went to see the Robbie Williams movie about the monkey. the other day, and they said it was nothing short of unremarkable. And that was a shame, because I had a lot of high expectations for it. I'm still going to go see it. Why not? An hour and a half of Robbie as a monkey knocking around. Apparently the Yanks didn't buy into it. God knows why they thought they would. But if anybody has seen that, then do. What's your take on it? I really want to know before heading in, even though I'm still going to go in myself. It'd be great to know what your take on the monkey movie was. Monkus. Sorry, lads. Daniel Day-Monkus. They should have got Daniel Day-Lewis to be the monkey in the Robbie Williams monkey film, because he would have done a better job at playing Robbie Williams as a monkey. Even though I haven't seen the film, look, I'm gonna save my 2 cents until I've seen the movie itself. But Daniel Day-Monkus, imagine him bringing that sort of rambunctious method acting to the madness of being a monkey. If we know Daniel Day like we do, or at least like we think we do, he would have probably gone out to the habitat of the wild primates and lived with them, just to really get a sense of what it's like to be a monkus. Crazy little guy. We're coming up to the Pepper Can, which we saw before a few weeks back, but it was not great weather. Pissing down at the time. And it's great to see there are still postal workers using the bicycle back there, postman. And he was knocking around on a bike full of letters as well. It's great that we still have a postal system. Another thing which the digital age is working to erode. No, it's not its primary focus, but it's a knock-on effect. Just a moment of appreciation here. From the house just across from the Pepper Canister, or indeed a few of the Georgian buildings. If I was to live anywhere around the streets that we ventured today, I think right just here would be nice. And you've got the church beside you as well. And you're well served for coffee and Starbucks and other stuff quite near the village down Baggot Street. Thank you very much there, John's newly sentient Merc. It's almost time. It's almost 9 o'clock. Time to buy those seat warmers you promised me, John. You promised. And Anonymous, thank you very much for the tip there, John. Very kind of you, lads. A lot of coming and going, to-ing and fro-ing. We might cross over and scooch down Herbert Lane. It's an awful sound off the back wheel of this bike. We might have to change it. Blessed be the Bugugu, for it is told. Lovely stuff. That's a beautiful beep right there. The beep of security. Lets you know that the bike has been successfully returned to its hotspot. There's plenty of them. And they could do with a lot more, if you ask me. Terminates at the canal down here. I'd love to see it go onwards, at least to Ranelagh, you know? Past Ranelagh. Would be great. I mean, I fail to see how they won't be making a return on it, because a lot of them are in use. And it would definitely prompt you to use it if they were parked outside or nearby your place of residence. If you're going into the city, you know. Brendan Dempsey, thank you very much for the tip. Very kind of you. You've driven all you can drive. Now it's time to wipe your nose again, just in case there's snot on it. The embassy of Lesotho here. I'm going to use the plaque of the embassy of the Kingdom of Lesotho as a mirror to make sure I've got no residual tissue on my face. Beautiful stuff. And maybe, just maybe, there's a shot to be had there of my face with Lesotho, the embassy of the Kingdom of Lesotho on it. You've Lesotho'd all you can, embassy. Now it's time to sit back and reap the rewards of the fruits of your labor. I don't know if that tracked. I don't know if that scanned. Let me just check the chat there to see if we're still even rolling even. Okay, we're still live. Ian, thank you very much. We're still rolling. Lesotho Bagugu. And how about that little situation with my face and the Lesothan plaque? Did we get that? I mean, it's not a deal breaker, but it really did. It would make the stream for me to know that worked out. It was captured. Thank you very much, No Jaw Jimmy. Beautiful stuff. It worked out. Brilliant. Thanks very much, lads. It's great to have. I'm gonna jaywalk. Maybe just a sit down moment to reflect. Reflection was on point. Great stuff. If we're anywhere to reflect upon what we're doing here. There are no benches, I don't think. They might have got rid of them just to try and curb. Look at that wood pigeon. Not sure if it's just your bog standard city pidge or if it's a brand new beautiful wood pigeon beast. It's fantastic. It's majestic. How's it going? Right. I think I've done a lot for the pigeon community around the city itself. No benches, which is a goddamn shame. Look at that, the back of a building, Murray's Undertakers. And you'd wonder how long when that dates back to, and whether or not the fact that it has that embossed on this side of the building, right on the canal, you would wonder, was the canal then used to transport the coffin of the deceased up and down the canal? Interesting to think about that, but does it make sense? I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to stop for a San Pel. John. It's quite necessary right now. Il Valentino, packed to the rafters. People coming in and out of there. Lorcan, thank you very much for the tip, buddy. Great area for a spot of geocaching on a Sunday afternoon. Exemplary. Beautiful stuff and lovely craneage as well. As we stand here just opposite FBD where we were on Monday, where we seen something about a prestigious bean development on the front window of FBD Insurance. But look at the span of the crane and what we're dealing with there. And the CISC, the weighting at the back. Unbelievable stuff. I mean, that could be transporting loads from across the canal even if they wanted to. I'm sure that's not happening. swing over to Cool Hands and grab a sandpel for the journey. Maybe Tesco, actually. They probably have it cheaper. Or indeed any newspaper, but it is a talking point nonetheless that the Dáil is back. Seeing who've been elected to fucking run the place, and then they're going on a jolly holiers until February 5th. Insane. Eight weeks after voters gave Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael a mandate to form a new government, Micheál Martin will be elected as Taoiseach this morning with the aid of 9 independent TDs. And look at this, Richard Gere starts a new life in Madrid with his 41-year-old Scorcher. And he's 75. Moving across the world would be daunting at any stage of life, let alone when you're 75. But Richard Gere seems to have taken it firmly in his stride, living out the retiree's dream in Spain. Beautiful stuff. It would be nice to live out the retiree's dream. Meta was fined more than €250 million and LinkedIn €310 million by the Irish Data Protection Commission for data breaches. This is outrageous and real arrogance. School pals plan to be class access done. It's Burke or bust. Isaac looks like he's stepping up to really take control of the scenario. Now that Enoch, has he been sent back to jail? I'm not sure. Check out that lad. He looks gacked, and that was on January 6th. I heard they're letting everyone out. Great situation. Tender moments between the president and his wife. Do you think I'm sexy? Not with that hair, Rod. Happy prolonged birthday to Rod Stewart Wright, who's still celebrating turning 80 with a string of nights on the tiles with family and friends. Look at the turtleneck. It's nice. It's a nice turtle. The singer looks remarkably well for a man in his 9th decade. All those late nights are clearly taking a toll on his hair, which increasingly looks like it's afraid to lie down for fear it will never get up again. Axed Master Chef presenter Greg Wallace has announced a career pivot, launching his own range of frozen microwave meals. It seems a long way from the cuisine of MasterChef. Hopefully for the troubled, tone-deaf gourmand, women of a certain age haven't swapped their microwaves for air fryers. Microwave meal deals. What a fucking nightmare. I'm addicted to traitors and pore over every clue. Here's the surprise player I'm convinced is gonna win, by Claudia Cannell. I actually just need to blow my nose yet again, guys. Just gonna have to leave that down there for a moment there, lads. Snotzer Williams. U2 consultant punched airport worker out cold. Doesn't look the type. He's wearing a chunky golden necklace that says fuck. Sorry about the language. And there's some more stuff on Wallace. Good stuff. Looks like we're eating good today. A landscape gardener described as a creative consultant for U2 has avoided jail for knocking a Dublin airport worker unconscious. I don't want to go into detail of people who I might meet, so I'll just leave it at that. Greg Wallace. Shamed MasterChef star Greg Wallace has unveiled a range of frozen microwave meals following his departure from the BBC show over sex pest claims. And, not gonna bother reading the rest of that. We've already heard about it. The Sam Bell, John. actually got bright remarkably fast compared to the last day. But I think it was just such bad weather that it remained in a kind of grey, slate grey state up until around 10 or 11 a.m. But this is a nice day, it's crisp, and it's a shame that the weather is set to turn in the next few days. More rain and whatnot. But it's great to be alive. That's the main thing. What shoes do you have on, Cons? Nothing but the comfiest Asics runners. And yeah, I noticed the lean bean behind. It's an interesting proposition, but it's more of a health food gourmand situation. I don't think it's a coffee house explosion, you know? But who knows? They probably do a mean cup in there as well. How about the mean bean? I'm just a little bit put off of coffee now after the whole "you're a rock star" debacle at Star Coffee. I mean, it was nice to go there and experience their bean, but whether or not that was a tip cup, I don't know. If it was a tip cup, then I'm feeling a little bit disturbed by the whole thing, you know? Because I was thinking, it's okay, sure, that's just the cup that goes over the other cup to protect your hands. But it's not the case. It was literally the cup the coffee was in. But hopefully it's not that. Maybe someone wrote that on that, just so that the staff would see it first thing in the morning, you know, to kind of boost their morale, like you're a rock star. But, I don't know. And Starbucks Mespel. Well, used to be on Mespel. Now it's come back here. It used to be on the other side. Thank you very much there for the tip, Mr. Anonymous. There's a coffee angel just past the ESB office, masquerading as an old-timey grocer, worth a boogaloo. Well, I just don't think I can handle any more bean. So, we can wrap up the situation with the original intended destination from the last day, which was the Amazonian building itself, which I believe could be down here. I have to say, I was remarkably impressed and intrigued by the display of the new ESB building and what they've done to it with the retrograde. It's really is fantastic. It's amazing. I'd like to get inside there and have a look at what the interior is like as well. Bit of work. And here we go. You can immediately see that we're dealing with the tech hub because it's the uniform glass-based exterior cladding, which we saw at Meta, we saw at LinkedIn, we saw at Zendesk. Maybe we didn't see it at Zendesk, actually. It was too dark and wet and rainy for us to really get a decent appraisal. The Amazonian rainforest and a lovely sequence of water features just around the interior perimeter. Again, too cold really to be frequenting outside there, and too early. Many of the employees are diligently toiling away at their desks, but you can imagine if it was a bit warmer, a bit nicer, that 11s is, or tea breaks, coffee breaks would be had down there. Moving along, and I have to say, doesn't really strike me as super impressive. You can see quite a lot of people there, but there's zero insignia to kind of illustrate that this is Amazon. We're left wondering, we're left guessing as to what the situation is here. Brain Slug, thank you very much. I paid with coins at Coffee Angel the last day, and the barista got bamboozled by cold hard cash. Well, that's what'll happen. I mean, I'm not even sure if that is Amazon, but we're treated to a lovely Romanesque spectacle at the front here, which is quite nice. Maybe we could get a lovely San Pel shot there. Of myself and the Pel beneath this beautiful situation. Bezos. 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 Here we are. The home of the man himself. His gaff when he's in Ireland. He shares it with Sky at number 1 Burlington Plaza. And apologies actually for the stream going down. I think I put the phone down on the wall. It's a fantastic situation. I would say the likes of which we haven't seen before, but we've seen plenty of it. Seems to be the way business is done. Jeff Bezos. I think there's something of an Amazonian colour scheme there. That is to say, the colours of the company. Kind of a suspended box, and then you can stay inside that box and chill out. The downstairs chill out area, second to none. Beautiful plants and reception desk inside as well. How about this? We'll get the Sam Pell in the foreground as well. It's Bezos or bust. Beautiful stuff. The spilling of water and perhaps a metaphor for crossing the water, crossing the divide, divvying up the segmentation of the company, perhaps finance and the big wigs on one side, and then the diligent workers on the other. Customer service, logistics, all sorts. It's a fantastic situation. And they've got a cafeteria in there as well. I don't think we're allowed in. Let's have a look. Let's see, just go in. Is the Honeycomb Cafe open?
I don't have idea.
Okay. And can members of the public just come in, or is it just for staff?
Here?
Yeah.
Just for staff.
Just for staff, okay. Thank you very much. Can I sit down? No, okay. Thank you. And you can't sit down, you can't do anything, they won't let you do it. But it looks inviting. We've kind of got two-way mirrors on the front of the building as well. So you could be staring at yourself and everybody inside will be looking at you. Just wanted to go for a sit down, you know. I think that after everything Bezos has done for the world, it would just be nice to be able to go in, sit down and say, yeah, I'm feasting tonight, I'm going to dine at the table of Bezos. But it's not happening. They don't want the riffraff coming in from off the street. But I didn't want to play the do you know who I am card, because that could backfire, you know. Some beautiful artwork here. Ocean of Stardust. The subject of this image is known as the Jellyfish Nebula, a massive star that ran out of fuel and exploded as a supernova, leaving behind a shell. I beg your pardon. Leaving behind a shell of glowing gas. The photographer set themselves the challenge of capturing it by spending all of the clear nights he could, only shooting a single target. With the unpredictable Irish weather, it took the photographer 9 weeks of shooting to complete. Unbelievable stuff. Meander by Cian Ryan. This is Keem Bay, Achill Island. As the tide receded on Keem Bay, it revealed a beautiful S-curve in the sand. As the stream meandered through the sand, it created a delicate line, leading the viewer's eye to the constellation Orion rising. The zodiacal light, coupled with waves breaking and a slow shutter speed, made a tranquil and simple scene for this photograph. Jupiter's Dance, Enda Kelly of Wicklow Town. We're looking at Jupiter, guys. An incredibly long lens captured Jupiter at that. Beautiful stuff. Fascinating. It's like a marble. A marvellous marble. And there we have Mulranny in County Mayo. Davy Patton shot the image after a day on Mulranny Beach, late summer. Using the camera's self-timer and some careful planning, he was able to capture an image of himself against the backdrop of the Milky Way. Lovely shot indeed. And there he is, Davy, looking to the horizon, standing proud. You starred all you can see. Now it's time to wait out in the dark, looking at the Milky Way, for your chance to win a chance to get on the boards at this remarkable place. I don't know what this is. This must be somewhere to do with astrology or something. I'm not sure. Or astronomy, I beg your pardon. We have a large portal dolmen with a lovely aurora borealis in the background there. Absolutely stunning stuff. Majestic, magical. Words can't describe the euphoria that you probably feel achieving a shot like that. And Alan Hartigan of the Burren has done just that. Thank you very much there for the tip, lads. Brain Slug and none other than Chocolate Starfish, who says, "You've Bezoed all you can Bezo." Super Blue Moon Reflection, Crosshaven, Cork. Shauna O'Connell. Earth Calling, Cian Ryan again. Another captivating shot. An interesting array of satellites there. The northern locations are often best to see the Aurora Borealis. This guy got this shot down in Cork. The structures you see are the satellite dishes of the National Space Centre. That's a lovely lighthouse of sorts. Spire of Lloyd and Kells. It's not. Looks like a lighthouse on first glance. I've never seen that in real life, but a beautifully forced perspective shot of the moon. Beautifully composed, should I say, forced perspective shot of the moon behind the Spire of Lloyd. Again, an explosive cavalcade of emotions stirs within one's soul when you look at such an image. Iconic scenes around Strand Hill. Ben Bulben, possibly. Lovely stuff there. And a time lapse. Is that what you call that? The photographer set up a camera on Bray Beach to capture this shot when he realised he was in the wrong position. Had to make a 200-yard dash down the beach for a better shot to line up the moon behind the cross. This image is made up of 9 shots to show the moon moving behind Bray Head Cross. And check that out there. It's like Pan and the Moon. Something out of a Steven Spielberg situation right there. And Caveman, Anthony Lynch. A shot from a cave at Goat Island. Around 2 a.m. in the morning. Just only goes to show the dedication necessary to achieve such artistic splendor. You really have to give it your all, body, mind and soul. Time, patience, and then you'll get the reward. As I said in the beginning of today's stream, the ladder is infinite. However high you choose to climb is all down to yourself. A super moon. High resolution glimpse too, we can see everything. I mean, on a good clear night, I'd usually be thinking that these guys here are the eyes looking down on us. I used to think that the moon had a face, and that it was a man in the sky, but you eventually become educated that that's not the case at all. I used to think you could run around the bloody thing as well. That it was small enough to run around. It's not the case. But a beautiful shot by Enda Kelly again. Not the first time he's featured in this impressive collection. Crescent Moon. There was one out last night. But it didn't look as good as this. A fantastic image. Captured by Aoife Hester. Lovely stuff. Out of Bray that was. And look at that. That is just emphatic. Bat out of hell. Fire and brimstone. Blood and thunder. Castle Knock is where that was shot. I'm not sure if that's the case. I know that's the place where the photographer is from, Castle Knock, but I'm not sure if that's where it was took. You never know though. You just think around Dublin maybe the light pollution would be too much to be able to achieve such stunning night photography as this. I mean, this is Donegal, so I mean you have to go where the lights aren't to be able to achieve this. Normally you can only capture the northern lights in the northern horizon. But due to the solar storm in May 24, the northern lights at New Lake appeared in all directions, and the photographer grabbed their camera and captured the lights on the western horizon where the colours were visible to the naked eye. And finally, Pink Moon Rising. Patrick Sadowski. Another shot from Donegal. Absolutely lovely stuff. It's a ring fort in the foreground. And a super moon behind it. In a showing. Reach for the stars. And that concludes the Reach for the Stars exhibition for today. A truly powerful journey into the solar plexus. And beyond. You've Bezoed all you can baze. And what's more, there is more to this Amazonian puzzle than it first meets the eye, because as we head down the street here, we can see another part of the campus. So behind Mespel Road, the development of Amazon continues. Don't know what street this is. It's quite something. And already I can see a coffee shop on the bottom floor. And these little bird houses here. No birds in them. Bird feeders, should I say. Another quick blast. And we have an unmarked Garda car here. It's unmarked. It's a collector's edition. Hyundai 191. That must be a dignitary job. I don't think that's a guard. That could be something to do with the recommencement of the doll. I don't know, but what would they be doing around here? Maybe they're just doing runs around the town to make sure there's no suspicious activity or something. This street has it all. I mean, you really get to see how the finer things in life occur and how the other half live. I mean, I know this is not really a residential terrace. You've got Amazon here on a quiet, kind of leafy street. Although, not many leaves on the trees, that's for sure. But give it another month or two, they'll be thriving. But these are houses behind as well. Possible embassy job there. Some more houses to the left and right. But the street has a nice ambience to it, and you've got artwork going on as well. You know, it's just pleasant. It's pleasant. It feels good. It enriches the soul. There's a bit of soul enrichment going on. And these are shots of an alpinistic nature. High above the mountains, high above the sky. I'm not particularly too sure. It's the work of one man. That man, Nikolai Kovachev. It's the embassy of the Republic of Bulgaria, which brings us this sumptuous collection of snow-capped works. Lovely stuff. One interesting architectural note I have about this Amazonian campus point is the top bit there, which goes all along to the end and then comes down there and then up along there as well. It's quite something. And if we just take a quick moment, thank you very much, Max Tomlinson, for the tip there. Very kind of you. Just take a moment to see, it's a new kind of structure, and you know that it's contemporary, because not only is the exterior facade intriguing, beguiling and fantastic, and all things bagugu and in between, but we're dealing with another beautiful standpipe with two chromatic protectors on the end as well. Beautiful stuff. We can't get in there to shout some things, but I mean, it looks fantastic. And it's ready to rock at the moment's notice. So it's Burlington Road. That's what we're dealing with here. The building, Shannon. Beautiful stuff. Pipe of peace. An interesting one right here, guys. I haven't seen this before. But before we look at that, somebody's left a bag in a tree there. And someone would want to rectify that situation. It's a kind of reusable material tote bag which has been snagged in the tree line. I don't know how it got up there. I don't know whose it is or who it belongs to, but it's such a shame, John. It's such a damn shame that that bag is stuck in the tree. Baggot. They need to really get rid of that and sort it out. But look at this building here, this structure. Villa Rosa. 3234 Villa Rosa. Interesting mosaic feature outlining the perimeter there at the top. Don't know what it is. Don't know if it's a residence, if it's a... I see a massive 75-inch LCD screen, so it could be a conference room, could be something to do with business or something, or for John, I'm not sure. Don't press me on this, yeah? I don't know what this is, but it's a great sentiment. Optimize everything. That's that. That's the tour of the exterior of Amazon. I don't think we're going to be allowed in there. I wasn't going to try and ask once we got to Shannon. As I asked in the other building, it was a no-go, so we're just going to leave it at that and come back another day. I think we can actually walk up this way instead of crossing. Let's see. The Clayton. Bit of a drab looking building. Do you know, after we've seen some of the more astounding facades, to see that is not great. I mean, they've done a bit of work on the bottom level, but the top needs to be completely reconfigured, in my opinion. Feel beans on the horizon of my life, Ricky Bobby. Get on a random coach and see where you'd end up. I don't think I have the time to really do that. It sounds like a real flight of fancy, and maybe next time that could be something that can happen. Right now, it just isn't a goer, Conrad. And thanks very much for tuning in nonetheless and casting your eye on the stream. Quick appreciation of the exterior tile work at O'Brien's Wines and Spirits over here at the bar. Sit down as well. O'Brien's of Leeson Street. I think it's here. We can just wrap this one up, guys. Knock this one up and get it done and dusted and locked off. Didn't really Amazon didn't really grab me in the same way that LinkedIn did, but I suppose also reading about the massive fines that have been incurred by these data companies didn't really leave me with a positive outlook, to be honest, going into it. And one thing I would say about these buildings, they invite the eye and they bring you into the manifold. But the moment you set foot in them, they don't want to know about you, you know? So it's all smoke and mirrors. And, look, you know, it is what it is. Again, I didn't want to play the whole "do you know who I am" card. I didn't want to have to whip out Bezos on speed dial. But, I mean, they should really know by now who I am and what they're dealing with. All I will say is thank you very much for joining us on today's Meander. And hopefully we will get to see something a little bit more impressive next time. But for today, that's that. And hope you're getting on well. And having a powerful Wednesday. The day's only just begun. There's still a good few hours left to really churn and churn and churn. We'll talk to you later on.